Hi, good morning. It's Saturday, March 29th, and it's actually after 6, but it feels really early. I don't know, probably because my husband's still sleeping. And we went to a musical last night where he played in the pit, and we were out till after 10, which is a long time for us. We're 2 hours past our bedtime. So this is a lesson 87 in A Course in Miracles. It's a review of 2 other lessons. Lesson 73, I will there be light. I will there be light, like I have the will, I'm willing it to be. So I will there be light. In lesson 74, there is no will but God's. And this is, again, like training our perception. Like if anything's wrong out there, if I perceive anything that's bothering me, like I'm judging something should be different, anything is less than peace and beauty and love, if anything's less than that, in some way in my perception, it's saying, hey, stop it. Recognize that it's up to you, me, to will there to be light. Like to say, oh, wait a minute, that's false. I want to see light here. I want to see love. I want to see peace. I want to see all the good things, all the true things. Because this book is saying, like, that's all there is love and peace and light. It's all up here that makes it not so. So when you see it not being so, stop and just these lessons are creating the awareness that make you go, oh, okay, it's like a habit we have to form, right? By creating the awareness. And then we're like, oh, pause, stop, create space, create a little distance from that projection and say, wait a minute, I can choose to see light here. I can choose to see love. Let me do that. So again, it's a training. And then the next lesson, it says, there is no will but God's. So it's like when you see something happening, like out in the world, especially right now, what comes to mind is like our culture and our political climate and all these things that have everybody up in a agitated state right now. Say, well, that was weird. It's happening. It just is. So it must be supposed to be happening, right? On some level. And it's a big leap of faith here. I get it, because bad things, we don't want to believe whatever you perceive as bad. Remember, not everyone is perceiving this as bad. Just keep that in mind. That's what I had to really come around to. It's like, wait a minute, what makes me think I'm right by perceiving this as bad? When somebody else is on the other side of that saying, no, this is good. It helps me. Just because it doesn't help you doesn't mean it's objectively bad, because remember, there's no objective reality. We all have different perceptions about this thing. Now, there are big groups of people like, oh, a lot of us think it's bad, but a lot of us think it's good. And what makes you feel like you're the ultimate, like, correctness about this, right? Ego says that you are. Ego says that all of you are wrong, all of you are attacking me if you believe that way. It's ego. And that is I get it, that's a hard thing to come around to. I'm still doing it every day, even though I feel like I've turned a big corner on that, especially with the help of this book. It's like, wait a minute, we're all just different perceptions about something, and it's really only doing harm to ourselves by continuing to feed into that system of judgment. It's hurting each other and it's hurting ourselves because it keeps us separated. It's a tool of division. And when we can come around and say, wait a minute, if there is no will in this world but God's, meaning the creator of all that is, whatever you believe God is, how did we get here? We don't know. Whatever created us to have these experiences, to learn from them. So what are we learning? There's no good or bad. They're just teachers. They're just teaching moments. I feel like everything's a teacher. Because what are we here to learn from it? It helped, I don't know. It just feels like that is such a more peaceful way. I feel more peace looking at things that way. Like, oh, interesting. What can I learn from this? Maybe I can learn to love that person more because they believe something wildly different than me. And yet, they're a human, I'm a human. We're made of the same stuff. Living in this crazy world, trying to find our footing, trying to latch on to things that make us feel good. Like we're all in this together. What can we learn from these different beliefs that we have? That we feel like we're you know, the trippy part is, in groups, we try to divide. When we're one-on-one with people, man, are we nice. We're so nice to each other. What is that? What is that all about? This group, mob, whatever mentality where it's like us versus them. But when we're one-on-one, do you know how quickly we come into trying to seek common ground? Isn't that weird? I gotta meditate on that some more. You know it's true. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. When I worked in the bar, it was like training ground for this stuff. Human interactions, human relations. It really is. If you want, like, skip college. Just go work in a bar. Be a bartender. It's so true. It was like training ground for all my trauma healing work I then have been doing. It's like, oh yeah, that was fertile ground. It was such good education in really interpersonal relations. Oh, it was so good. I have so much to draw upon, you know. And you see like groups of people, like cliques, and then you get two people one-on-one bellying up to the bar. Oh, best friends. One-on-one, there's just such a seeking to connect. This is it. I feel like there's some gem in here to polish. I'm not good at analogies. In groups, we have already found our connections. We've found our people, our tribe, our sense of safety and belonging. When we're alone, that's the first thing we seek. Safety and belonging. We reach out to that first person and be like, oh, yes, let's find common ground. Let's find connection, belonging with each other. And then we're like, okay, I feel safe. I feel like I belong. And then things go haywire from there, don't they? Like this group mentality. But when we're in a group, it's like, oh, I'm good. Now it's us versus them. But when we're alone in the wilderness, like, I'm all alone. I gotta find connection. It's like that feeling of being picked last for kickball or whatever, where it's like, I'm all alone here. Please pick me. And then once we're in the group, we're like, let's play. It's us versus them. There's something there with this human nature of ours. Anyway, I feel like these lessons also call us into like, stop separating, come into connection. Stop creating division, come into connection. Stop creating problems with each other because it's all coming from here. Seek connection, seek understanding, seek love. So that's lesson 87 for me, the review of those two prior lessons. I will there be light. I just will it to be so. I want to see the good, the love, light. And there is no will but God's. So whatever's happening out there is meant to be. So let's take it as a teacher. What am I learning from all the perceived badness in the world? Somebody else is perceiving it as a good thing, so, or somebody else is learning a lesson from it. Even illness. What is that, like, oh, that person has cancer. How can you say that's meant to be, that's like God's will? Well, what is that person learning from having that illness? All the illnesses I've had to try to, it's hard, see it as a teacher, which means I couldn't get there until I surrendered and said, what does it mean? Teach me. And, and no, I haven't had the super big illnesses, so to be continued. If that happens, what will I feel then? It might be really hard for me. I know it's going to be hard. I'll try to watch this video and be like, remember when you said use it as a teacher? Yeah, I'll try my best. Ow, kitten. Little claws. Ouch. So, yeah, to be continued. So have a great weekend full of love and light and connection.